Where'd you hit it?
A little out of the circle.
Still a dead deer. Back straps on the grill. Good job, Obs. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Big Buck Shuck, where we're helping you become a better and more successful deer hunter. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I think is one of the most important things that we can do, and that's getting young people into hunting and the outdoor lifestyle. I want to talk about a few of the things that I think are important that hunting and being in the outdoors teaches a person. First and foremost, responsibility. Keeping your muzzle pointed in a safe direction, knowing what's beyond your target, picking up after yourself, abiding by all the rules and legal laws that we have to abide by as hunters. I think that all those things, and there's so many more that teach these kids how to be a more responsible person, and I think that carries on throughout their life. When it comes to discipline, practicing with their bows and taking care of their things, keeping their guns oiled and bowstrings waxed, and all those little things that go on that you have to do, that help you become a better hunter. It really teaches them that discipline, setting an alarm clock and getting up and going out there when it's 28 degrees and it's cold, and you don't want to, you want to stay in bed, so all those things I really think instill discipline in a kid, and that trickles throughout the rest of their life. So another big thing is patience. Obviously sitting in a blind or in a stand waiting for the animal that you're trying to take and pursue, you have to be patient. And in the world today with all the distractions of social medias and the internet in general, games and all that stuff really distracts a kid, and they get everything right now in every other area of their life. So I think that a lot of people nowadays lack the patience that they need that helps them in life. Whether it's, like I said, you're sitting there waiting for the animal in general, or just that patience enough to squeeze the trigger instead of pulling it, or wait until that deer puts its leg forward, get that shoulder out of the way, or even turning from quartering to broadside. All those little things that really require a level of patience, and if a kid can be exposed to that, I really think that it can help them in every other area of their life. And to add to that, getting them out into the outdoors and breathing fresh air and moving around and getting exercise and seeing nature, all that stuff is good for a person. We're meant to be outside. We're not meant to be in a room with the headset on a video game for 8 hours a day or all hours of the night, or it's just being out in the woods, being around other hunters and outdoorsmen. I really think that getting kids out into that, exposed to that, really has a good effect on them. I don't think that kids get that enough anymore. Everything, like I said, it's a technologically based world that we're in, and I think it's good for a kid to get out, breathe fresh air, get exercise, do things like we were wired to do. So the last thing I want to talk about with that is respect. And I think that being out in the woods and being a hunter and living that lifestyle really teaches a kid respect, whether it's based on respecting the animals that they're chasing, that they're killing. They're taking a life, so there has to be a level of respect for that, and there's a reverence, I think, that you should have for the animals that you pursue, because you are taking a life, and I think that it teaches kids to respect that, as well as, like I said before, other hunters, how to talk. Hunters are good people for the most part. Most people that are in the outdoor world are good, genuine people that kids can learn a lot from, that are stand up mostly. There are some bad ones, just like in any other group, but there's really 3 groups of people that in my life I've found that would give you the shirts off their backs, and that's hunters, the racing community, and the music community. So I really think that being out in the outdoors and surrounded by those good people really has a good positive effect on a kid. And so all these things that I just talked about, they're really, I think they're the building blocks of being a good person, a good human being. I think that the kids that are in outdoors when they're young, that are exposed to it, they'll be more apt to keep doing it. It's going to keep them out of jail. It's going to keep their mind busy. It's going to make them better people. So you really should do what you can to get them out there. Like I said, I'm out here. I'm in the rain. It's raining right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but getting this blind set up so that she can come out here with me and hunt deer, kill deer, hopefully. She's been practicing with her crossbow, and all these things just, I think, that are so good for a kid. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the age. It's a big thing now. A lot of states are reducing the age, the minimum age that a kid can start hunting. A lot of guys have problems with it. My personal opinion, I do think that there is a age where they should or shouldn't, but I really think it's dependent on the kid. I hear all the time, it should be 10 years old that they should be, the minimum age should be, or 5, and then I see people posting about their 4-year-olds waiting on their first deer during the youth hunts and stuff. So I personally think that you should judge that based on your child. If it's legal in your state to hunt when the kid's 4 or 10, but you don't think they're ready for that age, at that age, I think that you should be the judge of that and take care of that accordingly. My daughter, she just turned 9. She's been shooting. She shot her first deer last year at 8. So, and she was more than ready last year. She's a very responsible kid. She does good in school. She's never gets in trouble. She's very respectful. So, a kid like her, yes, she probably would have been ready at 5 if that's when we started. But so it's based on your kid, your child. I mean, if it's legal and you think they're ready, if they've practiced, if you've been out with them and showed them where to shoot the animal and what signs to look for. Like I said, if the shoulder's forward, if obviously if they're facing them, the shot placements, getting up in trees. My daughter, that's the reason why I'm putting this up, is she's not ready to get up in a tree stand yet. So I said, that's fine. I'll set us up a pop-up and we'll try to get up in a tree in the next year or two. But, I'm not going to force her. But if your kid's ready in all those areas, go for it. Because I think the earlier you get them started in it and the earlier that you get them accustomed to all the things, like I said, the responsibility, the respectfulness, the practice, the patience, all those things, I think the earlier you start them, the more it's just ingrained in their DNA kind of thing. So that's really a judgment call on your part. Don't let any other outside voices, shame you or whatever. If your kid's 5 and they're ready, I say go for it. If your kid, doesn't want to do the things, they just want to shoot the deer, but they don't want to practice and they don't want to do all the things to prepare, then you might want to make them wait. So it's a judgment call in the end. I've had her practicing every day now for the last couple weeks, and she's doing great. So I'd probably be careful on making them wait too long, because as you guys probably know, we are kind of a dying breed. Probably 90% of people in the country don't hunt, and I think it's really important that we get these kids into it, just also for the fact of keeping our tradition and our way of life alive and well. So that's something that's the hunter numbers declining, and just people not wanting to be out in the woods and getting dirty and going through the swamps and dragging deer. I mean, it's work, and a lot of people don't want to do that work anymore. And so it's not getting passed down generationally like it used to be. The guns being passed down from grandfather to grandson, or from dad to son to grandson. That stuff it's important to keep those traditions alive and to keep those time-honored things going, because if we don't do that, if we don't keep recruiting people, not even just kids, but other people, other adults that don't hunt that might be interested in doing it, get them into it, because we're losing out every day to all the anti-hunters and even non-hunters that they're indifferent to it. So if we want to keep this way of life going and have it here for our kids and our grandkids and so on, we've got to get more people into it so that it stays alive and well. So lastly, the thing that I want to talk about is not forcing your kids to get into hunting in the outdoors if they don't want to. Like I said, my oldest is 9. She's really into it. She's all about it. My middle daughter, Milena, she does not want to do it. I don't know. She's a real big animal lover, so I don't know if that's what it is, if she feels guilty or doesn't want to kill an animal because she feels bad. She's been on a couple hunts with me, and she did good. We saw some deer, and she liked going, but she doesn't have any interest in shooting. She won't even shoot the crossbow. But I'm not going to force her to do that. So that's, I think, is really important, that you give your kids some room. If they're kind of standoffish about it, I know a lot of people that either force their kids to do it, and the kid ends up not doing it in the end because they weren't interested in the first place. So, and I also know a lot of people where, like I said, their kids are 4 and 5 years old and they're killing deer already. But I think it's really important that if your kid isn't interested in hunting, there's other ways to get them out there. Have them help you set up blinds and clear shooting lanes and all that good stuff. I mean, have them out there with you while you're shooting. I think that the more they're exposed to it, the more likely they are to be into it one day. But you got to do that. I mean, you can't just force them to be into it and expect them to enjoy themselves. Keep them comfortable. If you take them out, even if they're not into it and they want to go with you, take them with you. Hunt a different stand if that's what your issue is, or take blankets and snacks. Go to a spot where it's not going to hurt your success on that big buck you got on camera or whatever, because they're probably going to be loud. They're going to make noise. I took my middle daughter a couple years ago during a muzzleloader hunt with me, and it was about half hour before dark, prime time, and she, like, what? I'm cold. So obviously I'm not gonna make her sit there. It was cold. It was probably 25 degrees. It was mid-December. So we got up and we left. It was sacrilegious to me, but I didn't want to ruin her thoughts about hunting. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. I didn't want to ruin it for the future, because one day she may get into it, and I hope she does. But if she doesn't, I'm gonna exploit and support her other passion, whatever passions that she has, whatever things that she loves to do. That's what I'm gonna support. So that's my last piece of advice on that. But do whatever you can to get them out there with you. Like I said, take them with you. Just get them out in the woods, because I really do think that being out in the woods, being around hunters and outdoorsmen, I think that it's just one of the best things that kids can do. So with that, just finished setting this up. It's raining. My camera's getting wet. I'm gonna grab these shears over here, and I got some shooting lanes to clear out. So we'll see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, share this with someone that might be on the fence about their kid hunting. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next video.